Okay, welcome to a breakdown of the Ultimatum Queer Edition. Vanessa sees Mal and she's like, dibs. Yoli does not like it. You can see it immediately. The complex between these two might deserve its own episode. Ray looks like she was kidnapped. You might look beyond the shoulder of the person you're talking to and see your partner there with like some hand on her lap. First of all, Ray, yeah, if you're seeing this, you need to escape that relationship. I don't know how it ended, but Ray, leave that woman. She is no good for you. We're gonna get into it. Let's go one step at a time. Okay, so at that dinner, at that drinks like ceremony thing, with all that drama that happens between Yoli and Vanessa, and so we're obviously seeing how that rivalry is just blossoming and blossoming. And we see Mal's receptiveness to Vanessa's like advances, right? Because with the one-on-one with the camera crew, she was like, can we do that? Can we be in a throuple type of thing? Because they're both cute. Yeah. Okay, so she was obviously feeling it. And that's going to change. And again, I think it's because Yoli's going to tell her, cut that out. Mm-hmm. No. And so from there, Lexi pulls Vanessa aside and is all like, I want to talk to you. And they go and sit somewhere and they're vibing off of each other. They're talking and they're like, there's something here and we should go on a second date. They agree to go on a second date. And then Lexi gets interviewed about the little one-on-one she just had with Vanessa, and she's over the moon about it. Mm-hmm. She's all, I think we both knocked each other on our butts, like, who saw this coming type of deal, and to live with her would be kind of crazy. So she's considering it. Yeah. So she's thinking about what would it be like to live with her. So she's a contender, a big contender in her mind. And then they go back and join the party. And then Ray... Ray, Lexi's girlfriend, pulls Vanessa aside moments after. Hey, little mama. Moments after Lexi has just finished pulling Vanessa aside. Catch what's going on here. There's a couple, okay? Lexi and Ray are a real couple, and they are both having a little parlay with Vanessa.
This is gonna go so smoothly.
So Ray pulls Vanessa aside, and Ray's like, I'm curious about you, girl. That's suggestive. Ray has been, for the most part, super reserved, super shy. She's not super talkative. She's talking a lot about Lexi and their future and stuff. Yeah. And then goes from that to pulling Vanessa aside after she saw her with Lexi and saying, I'm curious about you. Okay. Then the camera team, the editing team, I don't know if this was like really...
They did not get paid enough money for what they did. Okay.
Oh, also, a shout out to whoever is doing the score. Because the music choice was so effing poignant. Yeah. Every lyric had something to do with exactly what was going on. Like, they did
their research.
They didn't want you to make assumptions. No. They were like, I'm going to tell you how to feel. I'm going to tell you how to feel. So Ray pulls her aside and it's like, oh, I'm curious about you. Okay. And Vanessa's like, all right. She goes on the first date of the two because she's going to go on a date with both Lexi and Ray. So she goes out with Lexi first. For the most part, the date is going well, but she's brought up Ray a couple of times. And I don't think she likes the answers that she's getting from Lexi because they're not unequivocally shutting Ray out as a possibility. And then Vanessa's not saying, oh, Ray's not an option. Yeah. And I don't think Lexi likes that. Yeah. Towards the end of the day, things just start not going well between Lexi and Vanessa because then Vanessa not really admits, it just comes up that, I might not be into the idea of marriage. And Lexi latches onto this and says, oh, why are you here? Or, well, she uses profanity. She's like, why the F are you here? First of all, don't come at me with that energy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, back up a little bit. We don't know each other like that.
You really don't. Yeah.
And that's why I think...
It's so aggravated.
And that's why I think it's a little bit disingenuous.
Yeah.
She was looking for some confirmation earlier that Ray was not going to be competition if she, Lexi, chose to pursue her, Vanessa.
I think she wanted to come in and want like people to fall for her and be like, look, Ray, look, people want me, so there's something wrong with you.
Honestly, I can see that. I can see that as a very real possibility because...
And that's why I feel like she's projecting onto Vanessa and saying that that's what you're here for and that's what you want. Because she knows deep inside that maybe that's what she's looking for and she doesn't like to see a mirror of that in somebody else.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, and Vanessa's super open about it, whereas Lexi seems like she's just like, you know, pretending to be somebody that she's not and meanwhile has mad ulterior motives.
Well, okay. Here's my thing. I'm not sure that I believe Lexi's pretending. I think Lexi is dealing with a weird complex because of who her parents are. She has a mom who plans weddings and a dad who sells rings. I mean, hard not to develop a complex. And she seems like she needs to be the center of attention. The whole world's hell yes. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, maybe you want mommy and daddy to be thinking about you. Plan my wedding. Yeah. Pick my ring. That's what I feel like. I feel like, and she brings her family up way too much.
Oh my goodness, at the most inappropriate of times too.
We'll get into this. We'll get into that. Save what you're about to say because I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, I was
Grandpapa?
No, not Grandpa. Even at the dress, the cocktail that they go to, she's talking about seeing her flirting with Vanessa, wearing the dress that my mom got her. Like, okay.
Wearing the dress that my mom bought her. Okay, you know what? Calm down. And she's giving us hints the whole time that she's toxic. So
she really is.
After they have their date and all of the other couples have had like dates that day as well, they have another cocktail party in the evening. And it's like obviously super tense. There is a moment where Lexi, Vanessa, Ray, and Mal find themselves like at a table. I'm not sure if Mal is there, to be honest with you, but definitely Lexi, Ray, and Vanessa are there. Ray and Vanessa are standing there and Lexi pulls up. And then she's like, oh, it's okay. We can talk. And you can see Vanessa's like has a tense smile on her face. And she's like, oh my God, what do I do? And then Ray and Lexi are talking to each other in that secret couple language where you like just say a couple of words and they fill in the sentence with their brain because they're like, you know, do you want to? And like, yeah, okay, should we? Like they're talking like that. And then Ray in the middle of that little exchange is like, I have feelings. And then they're like, we should go talk. So then they go to the side and Ray's like, so, you know, we talked about what would happen if we connected with somebody here. And I feel that like spark with someone. And she's like, Vanessa? Obviously.
So telling.
So she's like, yeah, Vanessa. And now Lexi starts poisoning Ray's mind against Vanessa. She's like, oh, I spoke to her. I don't know about her motives. Blah, blah. Girl, you're talking to somebody that you had to drag onto a show because she didn't know she wanted to marry you. And now you're telling her, beware of Vanessa because Vanessa doesn't know if she wants to get married. Hello. Like, listen to yourself. Like, Ray came in here not wanting to marry you. This is best case scenario. Like, this is best case. If I came in there wanting to marry Ray ain't want to marry me, and I get to go out and like you know, mingle, blah 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 blah, and Ray gets stuck with somebody who doesn't want to get married. Why am I pressed? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Why am I pressed if my partner wants to hang out with somebody who is potentially the least long-term threat.
Because she doesn't.
Because it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's not about that at all.
Exactly.
It's about the fact that you didn't get Vanessa.
Yeah.
And you don't want Ray to get Vanessa.
Yeah.
Because that's going to hurt your ego.
She'd be okay with anybody being with Ray, to be honest. Because she just seems like...
But not Vanessa. It can't be somebody that she went after.
Yeah, specifically.
And who told her, I'm still open to Ray.
Yeah.
She didn't like that. She wasn't Vanessa's top pick. Now we've established the powers that are coming together against Vanessa, which is Lexi and Yoli. And they sort of form an alliance to start bullying this girl. It's not formal, maybe, you know? I don't know what's in their text messages, but...
Their Instagram might be crazy.
But they do go after Vanessa. And it's weird. Okay, let's keep it going. Lexi moves away from that conversation. She's all, oh, I need tequila. And you can see Vanessa's like drinking tequila saying, oh, this smells like Lexi. And then her and Mal are like laughing, joking about it. And then
Mal says, you should go tell her that.
Oh, yeah. Mal just spent some time with Lexi, though, so I'm sure she knows what the girl's talking about.
Or they're like, oh, why don't you go tell her and not drag me into this? Because Mal does not seem like one who wants to be in the middle of all this drama. They're just like, yikes, bro. Have you noticed that in every situation when...
Mal says that she doesn't want to be in drama, but had she been more open to listening to gossip, she might have found out that Xander was buttering her girl's bread from jump.
But I think that's more of a trust thing in Yoli. Like, you trust your partner, or you want...
And look where that got her.
That, touche.
And look where that got her, okay? This is a side plot. Shouldn't even be getting into this now. You know what? We'll get into Mal's trying to say that she's above the drama. Because should have been right at the drama's level. Then you would have seen things. So Yoli and Lexi are talking at the cocktail party, and they're telling. So Lexi's like, "Oh, I just had a troubling like night or whatever, and there's somebody here, blah blah blah." It's high school stuff, and then Yoli's like, "Oh, is it Vanessa?" And then Yoli's like saying, Yoli's like, you know, completely validating every negative thing that Lexi is feeling about Vanessa, and like, you know, adding her own little to the mix. And Yoli is like Miss Popularity at this point. At the party, she's talking to everybody. They're like, she's having these, you know, who would you rather do celebrity conversations with crowds, you know what I mean? Like she's in the mix, and she's a social butterfly, and like I can understand why people would like want to be Yoli's friend. Yeah. So these are not insignificant people to have hate you so early in the game. And this is Vanessa's downfall. Okay, so nail in the coffin for her. She goes to talk to Xander. Xander, who brought her here because I want to marry you.
I want to have babies and start a family.
Xander, who didn't want to leave the apartment on day one, who was like, I changed my mind. Let's go back. I love you. I don't want to do this. That Xander took a look at a sea of 8 women and picked the girl that disrespected Vanessa the most. Make that make sense. I don't get it. And this is what I'm talking about, the difference between Mal and Xander, okay? Mal is going to start shutting Vanessa down at every turn, even though they have had some good interactions, because Yoli obviously does not like Vanessa. Mm-hmm. But Vanessa has out and out been disrespected publicly by Yoli in front of a lot of people. The disrespect that looks like, oh, right? And Xander was there, witnessed it, saw the whole thing, knows exactly what's going on. And you're telling me that's the girl that you pick to do your trial wife. I mean, it's your choice. At the end of the day, it is your choice to do that. What I won't entertain is don't try to pretend you're some nice person. Woe is me. Oh, how could Vanessa be mad at me? How could Vanessa like be so selfish? Girl, are you kidding me? If I have a friend, not even a romantic friend, if I have a friend, like if you and I were hanging out and someone disrespected you, like you're already a notch down in my book.
It's beef, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to fight, like, but like you'd have
You're not cool. Yeah.
You have to work really hard for me to be like, maybe you don't suck.
Yeah.
So for you to walk in there with your whole ass, I want to marry you girlfriend, and then be like, I'm really vibing with that chick that fucking humiliated you. Probably, what the hell? That's so shady. That is so shady. So Vanessa kind of gets like thrown for a loop, and I take her side with that. It is, at the end of the day, it is Xander's choice to do whatever they want. Yeah. And I'm not going to take that away from Xander like, oh, you have to do this. No, yeah, what I'm saying is, if you do that, acknowledge that you're kind of an asshole. Yeah. Own it. Yeah. Don't try to be like, baby, what's happening? Don't clutch your pearls. You know what's happening. You're romantically interested in someone who publicly humiliated your girlfriend. Like, don't act like you don't know what's up. If this happened, like, out in the wild, like, you unfollow that person online, like, oh
my God, yeah, instantly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. So Xander's all like, oh, I don't understand how you're possibly upset with me. I don't know what's going on.
Did they actually say, I don't know why you're upset?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She's like, no, Xander says, oh, I didn't, like, I saw the interaction, but it was so brief for me, and I didn't, like, it wasn't a big deal. Okay. First of all, that's your opinion. Public humiliation is a big deal.
Dude.
But
no, that was humiliating. Yeah, it really was. It was so targeted. It literally felt like something off of Mean Girls.
So, but Xander was like, oh, so brief, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, you're being really unfair to me, telling me who I should pick. First of all, she's saying that I don't want to mess with you if you're picking Yoli. So what, Xander? You want to pick Yoli and you want Vanessa to be like kissy, happy, it's all okay? You can't have it both ways. And that's what I don't like. Yeah. Xander, you made a shitty choice. And like, it's your choice to make, and maybe it's the best choice for you, but don't gaslight Vanessa and be like, I don't know why you're mad.
Yeah.
That's not right.
I don't know, but hopefully, like, I don't know that, you know, like, Xander just seems like they are a nice person. So I guess in my mind, I just hope that they, like, you know, went home and when the cameras were not there, apologized or did something. Because it's just so crap.
We saw what Xander continued to do when the cameras were there, okay? And it was not pay respect to their girl.
Maybe they were humiliated too. Maybe they just didn't want to speak out because it was such an awkward situation. You know what? No, I can't.
They had their talk in private.
It's so weird. It's so
they had their talk in private.
Yeah, it's so
weird. So we know how Xander's going to carry on.
Also, yeah, no, never mind.
And
that's just weird.
Xander, like, first, that felt like weaponized ignorance. When people are like, oh, I don't know. Like, you know exactly what it is, but you're like, oh, I don't know. And also, like, the flip, like, okay, nobody there is really in love.
No, of course
nobody.
Not. No way.
Because suddenly you're like, Yoli's the one because Yoli wants to have kids. Like, there are millions of women who want to have kids. What the hell else is there between the two of you that, like, they have a sexual chemistry and they both want children? How long can that really sustain a relationship?
Touche.
And also, like, 3 weeks is not a long time. You can be your best for 3 weeks.
Oh, God, yeah. Are you kidding? I would be tip-top shape, bro.
You can be your best for 3 weeks.
And it's so exciting and like puppy love and all that, so nobody's thinking logically about the future at all.
You can be your best for 3 weeks. Like, you don't have, like,
you know what?
You can smell good for 3 weeks. You can shave for 3 weeks. You can.
Yeah.
Mm?
You know what evidence there is that none of these people actually love each other? Not even the original couples. Because nobody freaking thought to go to marriage counseling before sending an audition for the Netflix show The Ultimatum.
Yo, yeah, it is a really strange way. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who goes on these shows.
Thank you so much. We really
because
appreciate it.
I do appreciate the content, but that is a weird way to solve your problems. And if you're ready to go on a TV show to figure out whether or not you should be together, I think that kind of answers it for you, right? That kind of answers it for you. No. If you're getting paid for the show, yeah, drag it out, I guess.
You might as well get something out of it.
Drag it out, I guess. But that's on TV, dog.
That's actually the best way to walk out of it. Like, if you both know it's going to end, you might as well get a paycheck out of it.
Maybe one of you has an aspiring career. Maybe one of you guys has a local business that'll do pretty well after you get the exposure. Better not act a fool, though. Better not act a fool.
There's a lot of room for that.
So Xander pretends not to understand why their girl is upset that they have lovey-dovey eyes for Yoli. Okay, Yoli, miss, I came here bringing Mal into an ultimatum, and Mal letting us know from jump that they only got the ultimatum because they weren't really willing to lock things down with Yoli because Yoli's a flake.
And Yoli does this with everybody she dates.
Yoli falls in love with everyone. Mal and Yoli have been friends for a really long time, and Yoli falls in love all the time. And falls hard, and it's always the one, and Mal has seen that, and Mal's like, why am I the one? And you know what? That was major foreshadowing. Major foreshadowing.
Once again, the editing team, thank you so much for
Chef's
doing your
kiss.
job.
Okay. Up next, the choice dinner, where after the week of mingling with these strangers, you get to pick who you want to embark on the next leg of your journey with weeks 2, 3, and 4, and you'll be living with this person, like full on living with them. Everyone has to make their choice out loud at a dinner, at a table where everybody else is. And it's like this process where you don't know what everybody else picked. So you're just going to pick your person, and hopefully they have also selected you. I think it goes pretty much well for everybody. But I think it goes pretty much well for most people. And okay. Does Vanessa show up drunk? I think she was like pre-gaming.
I think she was having a mental breakdown. She really was. She was not doing
She was in a tough... Xander put her in a tough spot.
That is a tough spot, yeah.
Because
she already has so much heat coming from Yoli and Lexi. That can't be easy to mentally deal with.
Now you have to go to a dinner where your partner is going to go pick your enemy. And there's a girl there that you dated and is... volatile and super loud and vulgar, and you wanted Mal and didn't get her, so a lot of baggage to come to dinner with, and she was drunk. I'm almost positive, because she attacked Xander pretty much right away.
She was really not her best self. Not a lot of people are not their best self.
So I think the hat ceremony, the picking ceremony started. The choice ceremony started with Xander. And while Xander is giving the build up to what will ultimately be I pick Yoli, they're like, oh, I dated somebody like Ray before. I was initially attracted to Ray, but I dated somebody like her before. And this catches Vanessa's attention. And at the table, while Xander's supposed to be talking about who they're picking, Vanessa just torpedoes the conversation. Is like, who did you date that was like Ray? Like, everybody's at this dinner. She's just like, and Xander's like, And she's like, that Bumble girl? Girl?
No, Xander said, oh, the some girl from Bumble. And Vanessa was like, we've been dating for 4 years, and I have never heard of this ex.
Oh, yeah. She's telling the table. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Xander,
you're not, like, this is not, that's not what anybody's asking about.
It wasn't a relationship. It was like
yeah, Xander's like, it's awkward. I feel bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's just secondhand awkwardness. So that goes on. That ugliness. The host has to be like, okay, back to Xander. And then Xander goes on and on talking about how perfect Yoli is. And it gets
felt a connection.
And it's getting deep and unnecessary. Like, just say you picked her. Just like,
it's been 1 week.
Like you don't know this girl like that. Like, just I picked Yoli. Like, show Vanessa some respect.
This show is so dangerous and reckless for perpetuating every single queer and lesbian stereotype you know to be true.
You're picking Yoli. You're breaking this girl's heart. Do you have to sing her a love? You know what I mean? Do you have to go in like that? Oh my God. So after your girl just had a mental breakdown. Again, publicly, is horribly humiliated. Xander goes on and professes their love basically for Yoli. I mean, bro, that was some heavy-handed language. And then Mildred says something to Vanessa. She's all...
Oh, yeah, you were making us so uncomfortable because you were disrespecting Xander at the table the whole time or something like that.
And I think that Mildred is friends with Yoli.
Yeah, because it's not like they said anything about Vanessa getting bullied on that first cocktail dinner. So where was all of this empathy towards people then?
And you know what? And I have another point. Lexi is about to blow up, and nobody's about to say anything to her. Let's continue this thing, okay? Mildred says, "Oh, you're ruining dinner for everybody," and then Xander jumps in, and is like, "Y'all just chill. You know, you guys don't know Vanessa like I know her, and blah blah." Vanessa's obviously using laughter as a coping mechanism. That's not what Xander says. That's just obvious. No, yeah, but Xander's like, you know, oh, you guys don't know her, and like just chill. So. Then it goes on to Lexi.
Good for Xander for finally standing up, but it was way too late at this
Way too late and way too little. So Xander picks Yoli. Yoli picks Xander. And did you see Mal's face when Yoli's talking about Xander?
Oh, well, when Xander's talking about Yoli, when they say, oh, you seem like such an honest person or something.
And they made a little dig.
Yeah.
They made a little dig.
Or loyal or something.
Mm-hmm. They made a little dig, and she's like, I don't know about that. They mouth, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, yep. And it made Xander chuckle.
But Yoli starts talking about Xander, and Mal's face is all hurt. I was like, yikes. That cannot feel good.
Oh,
I mean...
Because you came in with this fear and insecurity that your girlfriend, who said that she's obsessed with you, wants to have kids with you, is going to fall for somebody who looks like Xander and immediately fall for them. And so, like, on your freaking face hard.
Check. So they profess their love for one another, and then it comes to...
Lexi.
No, like, I think they just start talking again at the table, and then Vanessa says something about, you know, Ray and how Mal is in my top 3.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Lexi starts saying, like, oh, you know.
And Mal clapped back here a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah. Vanessa started saying, you know, who they were into, and, you know, they complimented Ray, and then they said that, oh, Mal was in my top 3, and I think you're enigmatic, and blah, 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 and we had an instant connection. And then, check this out. Mal shuts that down. Even though Mal was into Vanessa before, like, we've established that. And Yoli has, like, a knowing look on her face.
Yep.
She knows. She told Mal, shut that girl down. And Mal, being a loyal partner, does just that. Whereas Xander, different approach.
Yeah. And Vanessa says, oh, maybe in another life. And you can see Mal just like, you know, just nod and turn away and take a sip from their drink. And they were just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure in her head she was like, would have been nice. But hell no, because Yoli's my girl. And I feel bad for Mal showing all this loyalty to Yoli, because I haven't seen the end episodes, but I've seen enough. And Mal, you should have just done what you wanted.
Yeah.
So then your girl's facing even more embarrassment like that. Like, Vanessa's just not having a great time.
Yeah, she's really not.
Really not having a great time.
No.
She, at this point, is either in a conflict with or is involved with people who are involved with people she has a conflict with. Mm-hmm. Like, she has enemies, and her enemies have all the friends. And her girl even likes one of the ringleaders of her enemies. So it's really not going great for her at this point. And then comes Lexi. Lexi. She tries to make one more attempt to dissuade Ray from pursuing Vanessa.
This time in front of everybody.
She goes off on Vanessa, talking about her motives, blah, blah, blah.
You're so poisonous to everybody.
You're gonna blow up my relationship.
Also, even in the description of how she sees Vanessa, she's talking about primarily how it affects her until Ray chimes in, and then she's like,
"Oh, I'll clutch it." She's like, "You have this power in your hand
to ruin
my relationship." Girl, you don't think living with somebody else for 3 weeks is gonna ruin your relationship? What do you mean? Why is Vanessa the one that's messing up your relationship while you're about to profess your almost love for Mal? You're about to go live with Mal.
You brought your relationship when you sent in your audition tape to go on this show.
Thank you.
Ray did not do shit there, okay?
It's not for Vanessa to destroy. Like, oh my God, that was so frustrating. You have the power to destroy. Everybody here got broken up. That was the deal that you agreed to, that you orchestrated.
Yeah.
So step aside with all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Karen vibes so early from this one. So sore loser. Sore loser. So she wanted to do what Yoli was doing and have 2 dimes wrapped around her finger. You know what I mean? That's why, but she wasn't getting it like that. Sorry. Then Ray jumped in and made an excellent point. You're the one who came in here with an ultimatum. Now you're here ready to be like, I could see a future with somebody else. But you were so sure about me a few days ago. And then she tries to like change her tune because then her girlfriend jumps in. Okay, yeah, this is the part where Xander jumps in. And Xander's like, how do you know that Ray and Vanessa aren't going to have a relationship that can give them some perspective about why they should be with us? And then, like, seeing that she's wrong, she tries to backtrack. Oh, I trust you and blah, blah, blah.
It's not you who I don't trust.
What a BS line. You brought your girl here. So if Vanessa had just picked you, you would have been like all convinced them of marriage, because you don't have any problem with the fact that Mal is a ultimatum getter.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem trying to redefine Mal's like perspective and stuff like that. Like so entitled. Well, no, Mal, like the time frame. Because the time frame that Mal wants to get married in and stuff like that and have things locked down. And she was like, oh, with the right person. Like, she's into herself, bro. She's into herself. And she got mad that Ray was just as appealing an option to Vanessa as she was.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope that her and Ray break up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe that's mean to say, but Ray can do so much better than that girl. Ray can do so much better than Lexi. Lexi is a mean girl, bossy, weird complex from her family.
Devil in disguise.
Just constantly playing the victim. She wants to police how other people should be experiencing things. And that's really just not your place, little girl. That is really just not your place. So this is how Vanessa's getting demonized so far. And honestly, I don't think she's the problem. Vanessa has had some missteps. Hitting on Mal was a bold choice. Episode 1, 5 minutes in. That was a bold choice.
Bold.
Going to Xander and being like, don't get mad at me if I start to like somebody.
Making a threesome comment in front of Xander that made them uncomfortable.
That rumpled chickens come home to roost, baby, because Xander likes somebody. Didn't see that coming, did you? And
dating a couple also might not have been a good idea. I mean, you can't help your attraction, but there's just bound to be toxicity there. I mean, the whole thing is so toxic.
The whole thing, okay, like, you have a pool of 8 people to choose from, and you can already rule out, like, a bunch of them. Now you can't rule out, like, just Mal's not an option, Yoli's not an option. If she says she's not going to see Ray, who does that leave her with? Get rejected by Lexi and move on.
No, I'm saying, like, in the very, very beginning when she started to...
Ray pursued her.
Yeah, it doesn't
Ray pursued her, yeah. You know, it's up to the couple to figure out what they're cool with.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn.
I agree that they would be chill, but clearly not. That's just only one party followed the rule there, but...
I think we'll be chill asterisks as long as I'm doing better than you, is how Lexi wanted to be chill. Yeah. Whereas Ray was like, I'll do whatever it takes to make Lexi happy. Girl, think about yourself, Ray. Think about yourself. And also, like, the way she's poisoning Ray's mind while she knows that Ray's made a choice, sabotaging Ray's experience, that's so unfair. So she's like, she just, you know what I mean? She's making sure that Ray can't have a good time either. That's her new goal.
Yep.
That's what I think.
And after all that, Vanessa gets at the table. Immediately afterwards, Ray says, you know what? I made my choice here, and I want to live with Vanessa.
Yeah. You know, I was very proud of Ray for hearing her girl just, like, knowing that her girl was being extra and being like, that's not going to influence my choice. I'm ready to decide, and I'm picking Vanessa. Yeah. Honestly, Vanessa needed that.
Yeah.
I do not think she was not okay.
She really needed a win.
She needed a win. She was not okay. And Yoli just seems like a snake.
Yeah.
I don't like Yoli so far. I don't like Yoli so far. She seems very disingenuous.
Yeah.
Conniving. Very conniving.
Yeah.
And, like, why are you holding on to that day one grudge for so long?
Again, coming back to the point, you brought your partner.
You brought Mal. You put Mal on the market.
Yeah. And what? You put Mal on the market. What do you expect?
You did that.
What do you expect?
You did that. People are going to bid. People are going to bid. So, yeah, broski. I don't know.
And the jeweler's daughters got the money.
And the jeweler's daughters got the money. I honestly think that Mal's just going to pick somebody, like, is picking somebody just to pass the time with.
I think so, too. I'm getting that vibe. I'm like, I think they're just following the script, saying what they need to, getting the...
Yoli really wants to do this.
Yeah.
Yoli really wants to do this.
Yeah.
But, girl, Xander, don't believe what Vanessa's saying.
Mm-mm.
If you thought Xander was a safe choice because you heard Vanessa talking about that asexual business, I've seen episodes 5 and 6. It is not that. They are not asexual.
I think what we can conclude from this is that so far, almost everybody here is toxic. Everybody has their issues. And
we haven't even gotten to the other half of this group.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that group.
Everybody's got their little quirks.
That group.
We've got a runner and a track star among us. But more on that for the next one.
If you want to see us cover the rest of the cast, Ozzy, Sam, Mildred, and Tiff, drop a comment down below, and then we will make a video about it. And now enjoy this visual palette cleanser while we hear from this week's sponsors. Thank you for tuning in. This 2-part reaction series from Bread in Captivity is brought to you by a kind-hearted Starbucks employee who allowed me to keep an incorrectly prepared beverage free of charge. Additional funding provided by the price match policy at Best Buy that allowed me to save $4 on a charging cable I desperately needed. Until next time, stay safe.